go. And on the timeline, hit that. And cue the music. Where's the music? Bring the music. I don't see the music. And you just messing up the movie magic. Man, you just messing up. You're messing up. Hopefully we get things working out the way they're supposed to. Hopefully we get to see some Facebook comments today, hopefully. Hey, people, y'all here? I'm late. Ain't it great? But the comments work, so I'm okay with that. Oh, yeah, the comments look pretty good. I can read them. They look clear. Okay, I had to change a few things. Good morning, everybody. Let everybody come on in the house. Let me see. I gotta share this. Remember to share my own daggone video. Boom, 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 boom. I want to talk about AI today. That's what I want to talk about. AI, we all gonna die. AI, we all gonna die. Well, we fuss about other things. Boom, boom, boom. All right, let's see. How do I share? I press this button. And this button. Appreciate everybody sharing, by the way. I think the planet's important. I think we should probably keep it. It's probably a good idea to share, let everybody engage in the discussion. I'm all about we have to talk more, fuss less. The more people we bring into the conversation, the better. Share our page. Good morning, Maha, Zelda, Helen, Kimberly, Dee Dee. You up kind of early, girl. Linda, you up kind of early too. My brother Glenn, been a minute. Well, I guess you were over on YouTube. Kimberly and Rebecca. Carrie, good morning, good morning. Boom, boom, boom. Hit share. I didn't put a title on it. Oh, too late. That's how it goes. You don't ever know what we're going to talk about. You never know what's going to come up. All kind of things can come up. I don't know what I want to talk about today. Somebody asked me that a little while ago. So how you prepare all these topics? I don't prepare anything. The world is nutty right now. Where's my AI? Let me move out the way. Let y'all see my AI. AI is coming. It's not coming, already here, actually. China is working on that massive AI complex. They spend like $2 billion. Why would China spend $2 billion on a massive AI complex? Not for your benefit. I'm gonna tell you that. And it's not to make the damn toys. Y'all remember the monkey toy? The monkey drum toy we used to get at Christmas? It hit boom, 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 boom. China does not spend billions of dollars for an AI complex to make monkeys beating drums. So we probably shouldn't act like that's the real world. We should probably act like we're designing a world based in conflict and destruction and killing off our children like it's a good idea. All right, we got YouTube then. All right, I don't know what we're going to talk about today. I want to talk about AI. We can talk about a bunch of stuff. People sent me that. Well, they sent me messages about a Gillette commercial I'm supposed to watch. Did y'all watch the Gillette commercial? I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the Gillette commercial because I don't watch TV. When I watch something, like, I know what I want to watch, and I'll sit down and I'll watch it. It'll just be that. I miss all the commercials and everything. I watch, go out to the websites and watch them right there. So I don't know. Am I supposed to watch the Gillette commercial really? Should I watch it? Did y'all watch it? Something about men are bad. Gillette. We're gonna cut them apart. Maleness is bad or something now. I guess masculinity is a bad thing, something like that. But AI is already here. I don't watch Gillette commercials. Damn it. I don't even have a Gillette cell phone. My cell phone made Samsung. I don't even like Gillette Samsung. That's what Gillette made. It's a big business. You shouldn't be buying from anywhere. boycott Gillette. We need to buy Gillette. No, you shouldn't have Gillette anywhere in your house. Gillette shouldn't even be a word in your mouth. It's all evil, all big business, all monopolies, all need to come down. Good morning, good morning. Flat economy. I like that, Linda. What's that? What's a flat economy? I don't know nothing about the flat economy. Y'all can teach me. All I see is the AI coming. Because that was my industry. It was automation. And I looked, and we didn't even get as far as AI. I saw some scary stuff just with learning software. You don't need AI to replace human beings. All you need is learning software, and the game changed the minute they made learning software. And do you think for a minute that China made a $2 billion AI complex because they're the bad guys? Or do you think they're just reacting? You think they're just reacting to what we already have? I think they're just reacting to the Cold War AI apocalypse that's being created. And I don't know if AI is already developed. All I know is learning software is here. My intellect, the way it works is that they always tell me 30 years after they do something, our kings and lords that y'all keep voting for, they always tell us 30 years later what they done did. They're already making human clones, so damn it, I'm pretty sure they got AI. But in the public domain, they already have learning software. And so it's not anything you do they can't do, and they get better every damn day. They're already replacing jobs. Every day learning software replaces jobs. So to me, it's stupid to fight each other. That's why I'm not in the fight game. I'm not in Fight Club. I watch the news, and I try to tell people, don't fight about what's in the news. Fight about why is it news? Because the news is all about control. It's all about driving you to get you to do what they need you to do so you can be predictable. Why would the billionaires and the elites want you to be predictable? They need you to be predictable so they can buy stocks, right? When you're predictable, when the populations are predictable, they can do that George Soros things. They can make money off of people they control through news because they know you're this and they're that and they're going to go that way. You're going to believe this. You're going to get upset like upset is a protest. You're going to get angry like angry is a solution and angry and being mad is a strategy. No, but they know what to buy based on how they control you through your news. That's why all the censorship is there, because they need to keep us predictable. Why do they want us to keep us predictable? So they can continue to invest in the things that make them money. Why do they want to make money? Because they want killer death robots. It's all about the bottom line. It's not personal. It's just the bottom line. They don't want you. They don't want your supervisor. They don't want your manager. They don't want your vice president. They don't want your CEO. They don't want your president. They don't want none of them. They want the robots. Why? Because the robots don't buy any damn thing they don't spend. Because the billionaires who own the dumbest countries, they win. They're the ones who are going to win, right? Because if your population is the most gaslit, you can do the most 5G type things. You can roll out whatever you need to, wherever you need to. You can do geoengineering. You can get them to eat pesticide foods. You can depopulate them. You can do anything they want. And they won't. And then, somebody mentioned the yellow vest. And your people will put in permits for yellow vest protests. Whoever has the dumbest population, billionaire, they win. Big prize is the world, right? And that's why China has a massive AI complex, because they need to replace people. Like who wants soldiers? Like really, I mean, think about it. Who wants soldiers, bags of jelly? Why would you want soldiers with wives and husbands and kids and they cry and they don't want to march in the rain? They don't want to go out in the snow and the weather sucks and they get tired. They need to lay down and make a foxhole, defend themselves. They don't want to get shot. They don't like shrapnel. You need logistics. You got to feed them food. You got to have water for them. You got to keep sending them oil and different things they need. You got to send the MREs. Like, why would you want soldiers? Why would China? How dumb it is to send bags of jelly into war where you're shooting metal things at each other. It's dumb. It's stupid. It's stupid. So it's not even that the military's going to get to stay around. China and their massive AI complex is just all about winning. And you win when you have a military that fights 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's not scared to get shot. It'll charge into any explosion and fire and murder anybody it needs to, blow up other robots. It's all about winning. But we created this Cold War with AI and a race to get rid of the human race. And how does that make any sense? How does that make any sense? Like I was talking the other day, as a brother's talking about libertarianism. And that's my background. I like libertarianism. Great ideas, great ideas. But the robots don't give a damn about your libertarianism. They don't care a damn about your capitalism. They don't give a damn about your communism or socialism. The robot has one task: to be not predictable, but programmable. Go kill. That's it. Now those robots, they can have the orders to go grow, but they're not going to get the go grow food for the human orders. They're going to get the go kill human orders. Why? Because it scares you. Makes you frightened, makes you predictable, makes you run, makes you turn against your government, because China has better robots, America has better robots, Britain has better robots, and the biggest maker of robots right now is Israel. So we can go look at the news if y'all want to. I just found it interesting that China has this massive AI complex, and we are in this Cold War with who can get rid of the human race the fastest, who can get rid of human labor the fastest. I don't think that's a good idea, y'all. I mean, I'm human. Now, you might not be, but I don't think that's it. I have human kids too. I don't think it's a good idea for them. So I think that maybe we need to slow this down a little. Maybe we need to stop fighting over some of the silly, stupid stuff we stop fighting over. Perhaps. Robotism. I'm not sure what robotism is, Jeannie, but the robot economy is coming. Let me pull my comments up. We might just talk today. I didn't look at the Gillette commercial because it's another gender fight. I think they're saying something about men aren't supposed to be masculine or something like that. I don't know. I just don't think it's about you jump on this side because you got a penis, you jump on that side because you don't, and you start to fussing and fighting. While the robots, they don't have penises or vaginas. They got boobies. They need robots. They do come to. They got the sex robots. You know, but to me, I just see that largely as like a ways to get people fighting and arguing, get them in a gender conflict, get them fussing over about things that just don't matter. And I think all lives matter. That's why they told you Black Lives Matter. Not because it ain't true, but because they know to get you to fight. And that's how you win. You make your human beings predictable. You already know what they're going to do, how they're going to respond. They give it to him. Okay, there we go. Terminator technology, Mary, and to me, that's not conspiracy theory. That's just makes sense. Why would you want robots? I mean, why would you want people to be your military? That's stupid. Why would you want the bags of jelly to be your police? Police, they have empathy. Sometimes, on occasion, they tell on each other. Sometimes they tell you that the CIA is flying drugs into LA and they set up the drug trade routes. Sometimes they don't want that. Sometimes you just want a police force that'll go out there at 3 o'clock in the morning, won't go get no damn jelly donuts sitting. You don't want police that need rest. And that's what I think 5G is about. And that's why they're rolling it out. Oh, and we can look at that. RT did a good little report on 5G. That's why I like RT. They'll put it right out there. 5G is coming, and it's all about swarming robots. Robots that are not going to grow your food and they're not going to take care of you. They're not going to go out there and march with you. They're just going to kill you. Fred Hampton, unity of the masses. That's right, Christine, and that's why they killed Fred Hampton. They got that man. Once that man realized the trick, and he wanted to work with the Ku Klux Klan and bring the Black Panthers and the Ku Klux Klan together, they murdered that man. They were not playing with Fred Hampton. No, Fred Hampton needs to be a good black man. He needs to go rally with the black people on black things. He just don't, but don't you dare cross those lines. Don't you go find them poor whites and pull the poor whites and poor blacks together. Don't do that. Don't you go pull together the humans that think they're different races and ethnicities and tell them that the robots are coming. Don't do that. Oh no, you need to be predictable. And Fred Hampton was not predictable. He started off on this course in life. He had a critical thinking brain. He looked at how things work. He figured it out, joined a team. Once he figured it out, he realized we can't have no teams. We have teams, we're all gonna die. Fred Hampton figured that out. But, you know, some people won't listen to him because he was a Black Panther, and others won't listen to him because he wanted to work with the KKK. That's how it goes. AI, robots, psychopaths. Yes, and that's the best we'll do. I think the best we'll do, we won't really make AI. We'll all be dead before they make AI in the public domain. I think they'll make something that's very AI-ish, it'll be like mentally ill. We'll take our mental illness apocalypse and we'll put it in them because we haven't figured out social graces. We haven't even figured out how to solve problems without violence yet. And we're going to take all of our ignorance and put it in learning software, call it AI. And it's just going to be a mentally ill robot running around just shooting, killing everybody. That's why Elon Musk wants to get off the planet. That's why I say always listen. You got a billionaire who's a king on this planet. He can buy islands. He can buy nations. And all he wants to do is not get on a yacht, go to a beautiful island, spend all his money with all these beautiful women and drive the fastest cars, have jets, and he decide I want to get the hell off the planet, go to moon, go to Mars, and live in a tin can. That man done seen something. He's a little loopy, but he done seen something. AI, that's why I'm here right now. This is why I do not work for big businesses. I know what they're doing with learning software. They're getting rid of you. And you're fighting over your religions. You're trying to decide if it's a good idea for priests to have kids back in the choir room, nobody else around. Everything's an illusion. Yes, Daniel, I think everything's an illusion. I don't believe my lying eyes at all. I never believe my lying eyes. Daniel, I question everything. And when I'm done questioning, I question the question. Because we're always being played. We're always being made predictable. All the news is always controlled. Like they got that new thing coming out. What's it called? NewsGuard? NewsGuard, where they're going to roll the app out. They're supposed to put it on most of the smartphones. I think they're going to use it on Facebook and YouTube so you can have color ratings for your news. Green, we agree with it. Yellow, what are the categories on it? We can look at that. I thought that was interesting. I kind of want to look at the comments though. I wanted to see what y'all wanted to talk about. I hate it when I drive things too much. It's supposed to be a conversation, so I don't like to drive. Because he's talking unity. Exactly, Keisha. And the same thing with Martin Luther King. That's when they killed him. When you figure out how the game works, they come in. And the same thing with the Farmers Alliance, right? They figured out all the poor white and poor black farmers got together. They realized that the robber barons and the railroad tycoons were playing them. The first Farmers Alliance and the government, oh hell no, they couldn't have that. People coming together. So they did what they did. They did what they did the first time around. Because they created the races before America was a country, a king, because people were having babies together, people didn't care, they were living together, and it's like, oh, we can't do that. So they created the races. And meanwhile, your government's helping you fight racism. I think that's kind of funny. But they did in the Farmers Alliance. They got together, and so what the government did is they realized that they needed to break people up. You can't have poor people getting pitchforks, getting together across all lines. And so they created white supremacy. Right? My poor white folks didn't create white supremacy. I hate to tell y'all that. I hate to tell you that white supremacy didn't come out of, no rednecks didn't come out of, your government did that. Yes, your government decided it was a good idea to pitch you against someone. And so you decided you want to fight the people they put you against instead of, and a race that they created that doesn't exist. Instead of pulling together with people you got everything in common with. That's why I say we all gonna die, y'all. We all gonna die. Because we haven't figured it out yet. We still fight about what's in the news instead of why it's news. Hang on, where's YouTube? I'm seeing a whole bunch of Facebook. China spend on stuff unlike the US that gives us all wealth away to the COEs. Thank you, Linda. Good morning, good morning. And China, I mean, I think China's largely reactionary. I think, we start off this war complex. Like it's our problem. We created the military-industrial complex. We keep voting for it. We keep cheering it all day long. Some of the smartest people I know, I'm at some point in time, I'm gonna stop calling them that, but the smartest people I know are still yelling and screaming about who they're gonna run in 2020. And I'm just like, that's not a great idea because China doesn't like it. Who else does? China's not interested in who you're running in 2020. Russia's not. They're responding to your military-industrial complex. They're making AI robots that will kill you faster and kill somebody else, kill their people faster. The billionaire that won is the one who can roll out the biggest police state. Like I was thinking about that this morning. People still yelling and screaming at police because we just had that funeral. Then when I started really questioning this whole narrative about hating the police, because I grew up on, NWA, we was F the police, we'd fight the pie, all of that stuff, Rage Against the Machine, is when I went to a funeral of I think the little girl was like 5 years old, killed in gang violence. And to me, gang violence and police violence are the same thing. I could be mad at the Bloods and the Crips or whoever it was that was in that shoot up, but the same reason that police shoot people in the street is the same reason that little kids get shot on school grounds. Your legislators. It's the same reason. The people you never blame, the people you run in 2020, the people that you asked to save you are the people who created the police culture. Like, ask yourself the question, why do the police come to your door? Who told them? Who sent them? Not your neighbor. Yeah, your neighbor told on you, right? Because that was the law. But the neighbor came to your door because somebody wrote a law that said they can come to your door. They can send a grown man with a gun to your door in a place where your children live. Why do Bloods and Crips fight each other? Same reason triads fight whoever they do. Same way reason cartels fight other, because the drugs are illegal. So the drugs are illegal, so legislation made an industry for these people to make money. They ban everything else, so they can't grow food, they can't do this, they can't cut hair without a license, they can't do hair, they can't do nails. You need a license and registration to do everything. You need registration just to be a human damn being. And so what poor people do, they survive. And drug dealers can't hire lawyers, so they pick up guns. Same reason guns are on the street. Legislation, it's all legislation, all it goes back to. And that's when I stopped playing. When you see a little casket and you go to a funeral of somebody and you see a casket that small, you realize, the hell are we doing? The hell is going on? Didn't Marvin Gaye ask that? What the hell is going on? And you always go back to the root of it. It's always your Democrats and your Republicans. It's always your politicians. It's always your left and your rights. Are followers more culpable than leaders? Both are responsible. I think they all are, Rebecca. They all are, but I put most of it on us. I put most of it on us. Like the leaders, they're bought. They can't stop themselves, right? They're doing what they're doing. There is no, whoever they throw out there next that's coming to save anybody. It's us. We do it. We follow the orders too, because we go to work. We pay our taxes. We don't put on yellow vests. We ask for permits for yellow vest protests. We do it. We cheer. We decide we want to stick with the Democrats. We want to stick with the Republicans, even though they're killing everybody and they're rolling out the police state. They're causing all the problems. They're writing the laws. They're not respecting the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. It's on us. We are following the orders. So we're all order followers, all of us. That's why I think the only way we get out of this is sovereignty. I think the only way we get out of this is you respect your neighbor. You stop fighting with your neighbor because you realize your neighbor is a bag of jelly. Doesn't matter what color they are, what kind of color their hair is, what kind of hair they got. If they like to track the pools and drink beer on the weekend, if they got big boots and white t-shirts and pants are sagging, and just say, you know what? Underneath all of that is a bag of jelly, and they're not a robot, and they don't like the elites, and they're being played. Sovereignty. When you respect that sovereignty in your neighbor and they respect it in you, then we got something to work with. Until then, we got nothing to work with. We can blame the leaders, we can blame the Democrats, we can blame the order followers, the police, we can blame the military, and none of it's gonna amount to anything because we're all divided up and we're being played on this big board game. As long as we keep playing like we're little Monopoly pieces, everybody's gonna do what they're supposed to do. We will make no progress. You know, and that's kind of the sick state of things in America right now. You know, they're yelling and screaming about Trump and nobody's doing anything to fix anything. And they'll put somebody else in or they'll impeach him or whatever they'll do. And then for the next 4 years, then the other side will fight that and nobody will do anything. All the legislation that comes out will be for Israel, HR 1. It'll be for, I don't know, trade wars in China. It'll be everything for billionaires. It'll have nothing to do with human beings. There'll be some more belting on profit modules for-profit healthcare. It'll have everything to do with the billionaires, because the billionaires, they need to keep us fighting. They need to keep us divided. They need to keep the country stupid so they can make a lot of money. They can buy up as much automation as possible, automate us out of jobs, get rid of human labor, move over to robot labor, and then we all go away because they don't need us. They actually don't need us at all. Human beings are not needed. We like to be needed, but we're not. And the whole model is to get rid of us. So why are we fighting for people trying to get rid of us? That's what I don't understand. Psychology, I don't get it. Blame makes enemies. It does, Rebecca. That's what I posted yesterday. I was talking about is that being upset is not a strategy. We talked about strategy yesterday. Being mad and angry is not that's not a strategy. That's you doing exactly what you're supposed to do. They put the news out there to make you mad. Why do you think that you see black kids getting shot in the street all the time? Why do you think they show you images of immigrants having tear gas and everything thrown at them, knowing that that's not the majority of what's happening on any of the borders? Knowing that more white kids are shot by police than black kids, not in percentage, but in numbers. We know that as a fact. But why do they show it to you? Because it makes you angry. And when you get angry, you get angry because you have a white son who was shot by police or is in prison, or you're angry because you're black and you see the police shooting the kid. And so it creates all this division. People get angry, and when people are angry, they're predictable. They're not thinking. They're not critically thinking. They're not blaming the root cause of the problem. They're blaming what they see. And they do what's expected. And the billionaires invest in the markets based on what you doing, what you're expected to do. And no change happens. And so as a billionaire, if I was a billionaire and y'all still had white lives matter and black lives matter, I'd invest in the prison industry. I'd invest in the pharmaceutical industry. I'd invest in the military industrial complex. I'd invest in all the places that are making big money on no change, because they know nothing will change. As long as you take something that's human rights related, something that requires empathy and you make it emotional, something that requires critical thought and you make it controversial about racism, then nothing will change. Nothing will change. You know? People say, are you saying the police aren't racist? I'm not saying that. No, all the police are racist. Every last one. And so are you, and so am I, and so is everybody on this planet, because that's just how your brain works. Not that it's about race, but because they made race a construct. And your perceptionism looks at people and it makes judgments based on that. You make calculations in your brain. The same way AI is going to make its calculations when it comes to murder you and your children. You make those calculations and you decide based on what you calculate. You can reprogram your brain if you want to. That involves you spending time with people of the opposite race. Yeah, the race that you're a little afraid of, the one you're skeptical of, the ones that you don't spend most time with, you got to spend time with them. And your brain, your subconscious starts to reprogram. It no longer has a fear response when it sees something it doesn't see a lot. Only on TV. Like, I mean, just imagine that. Like, well, all right. All right. I don't want to get down into the whole racial thing. It's just, to me, it's nonsense. It's all nonsense. We have a bigger problem. What are y'all talking about? The dangerous thing about the obsession with innovation and perpetual obsolescence is that we will innovate our species out of existence. Yes, Adam, and that's the intent. That's the intent. Like, you must work in IT or something. You must see what I'm saying. That's the intent. The intent is to get rid of people. We are going as fast as we can to get rid of people. And I kind of lucked out. I found a place I could tuck my butt in without using my intellectual capital, writing software and managing a team of developers to automate us out of existence. You know, automation's not a bad thing. Robots aren't a bad thing. They're a bad thing in the wrong hands. And right now, we can't have programmers writing AI. You'll always have programmers writing AI. You'll always have programmers writing the APIs and the automation software. You're not going to stop that, no matter how much you want to. Progress will always happen. You know, it's just whether or not that progress is going to be used to help your children or surveil or enslave them or get rid of them. Like, that's the only options. We don't have any other options. Fear, ego, control, manipulations, and greed. It's sadly our nature. It is our nature, Daniel, because we evolved that way, right? We evolved because everything was trying to kill us. And this is a basic talk. Y'all, I'm not talking about anything. We evolved that need to run. We evolved nuances to survive. The short-faced bear was trying to kill us. The wolves were trying to eat us. You know, so we evolved this need tribe up and fight somebody else. But the problem is, when you tribe up and you fight somebody else, it makes the other side fight harder. And then you fight harder. And then they go get more people. And then you get more people. And then they fight harder. And this was the whole thing about yesterday, about Israel and Palestine and Gaza. And then Israel and Palestine. Is when you start yelling and screaming how much you hate Israel, You push more people to Netanyahu's side, people who are on the fence, people who live there. You make more enemies by yelling and screaming, by using your emotions instead of your intellect. That's how we get in trouble. The whole game is about human conflict. How do you keep humans fighting so you can rule the entire monopoly board? Military-industrial complex has owned the U.S. White House since the assassination of JFK, made war for profit. Lyndon, you and I totally agree, totally agree. Every president after that has been the 36th president, every single one. We got problems to fix, and our problem isn't with China. Our problems aren't with Russia. Our problems aren't with Israel necessarily. Our problems are with us. We got to fix our own government. But we like to tell everybody else how they got to be. And that's how we became the global police. They convince you that you're right. And I don't think you're right. I don't think America's right. I think America's a piece of the pie. It's like, what is a democracy? Is everybody coming together, listen to everybody's points. Nobody's right, but they're right from their experiences in the data they have. You let them interject what they have into the conversation outside of what you think of their skin color, their race, their class. Let everybody, or the nation they're from. And once everybody interjects their experience, their comment, their thought, then we as a collective determine what's right after we've all had input. You know, but then that's the whole point of censorship anyways, to make sure that certain people who aren't popular don't get input. We determine what's right and wrong together. We don't determine what's right and wrong as Democrats or as Republicans or as a left or a right or as France. Good morning, fellow travelers. We are traveling, aren't we, Brother Dale? We are traveling on a rock through a universe, a rock of limited resources and an exploding population. And the only way we get to survive as travelers and keep traveling is we start working together and we stop fighting each other. Several generations ignoring the obvious. Yeah, we ignore the obvious, Carrie, because we're emotional. We're emotional. You get very emotional people. When you get emotional people, they're predictable. And then you're controlled. And so the obvious isn't as obvious to everybody. You know, when you're mad, the obvious isn't obvious. When you get upset, you get angry. When you get angry, you say stupid things. You don't see what's right in front of your face, you know? I believe when our consciousness was put into place, whether from becoming civilized, shunning the one source, I don't know, darkness was thrown into the masterpiece. You know what I think, Daniel? I think darkness actually runs this planet. Bad as that sounds. I think darkness actually runs everything. Because I can't make sense of like the evil things that we do and why we do it. Like I kind of believe what the neuroscientists say, that psychopaths bubble to the top of everything because they just have more tools and they have a need to control people. And I think they run things. I don't think they have to run everything, but I think that they do. Exploited, oppressed, woes in humanity. Yep. And they silence us, Carrie. They make it quiet. They always suppress those being oppressed, and they make them unpopular. And then the populace goes along with the war on alcohol and a war on drugs and genocide and all the things that we're up to. Propaganda, lies, distorted information to create dissent and division. Absolutely, Linda. And I think that's what that news, what was that thing called? I forgot already. That new news app that's going to tell everybody what's true, what's trustable, what's not. It's propaganda, lies, distorted information. I think very little news is actually news because I think all news is partial. All news is always based on a perspective of either the majority or the ones they talk to. It's not based on everyone's perspective. So we got to take everything with a grain of salt. Loving the dad sweater. You like it, Dale? You like the dad sweater? I like the dad sweater. This is the Bill Cosby sweater. Uh-oh, I can't say that now. I'm in trouble. I didn't say Bill Cosby. You're not supposed to say Bill Cosby. Listen, Bill Cosby did a lot of damn good in the front, not behind the scenes, but he's paying his price, I guess. You like the Bill Cosby sweater? I kind of like it. Keeps me warm. Keeps my bones warm, brother Dale. Keeps me warm. I don't have a style. I'm not stylish. Not here for style. Let me see. You know the funny thing is, okay, darkness is not a thing. In and of itself, dark is a lack of light. It is. It is, Rebecca. I like that. And I like that analogy. Darkness isn't a thing. Like you got good and evil, light and darkness. And how dark is the dark? How evil is the evils? Based on how light is the light? How good is the good? They get good people to agree to do evil things. They get light people doing darkness and supporting darkness. You get good people supporting Democrats and Republicans. But the lighter you are, the lighter dark has to be. Like, I think they follow each other. Like, I think it's the spectrum, you know, and if we push good this way, then evil kind of has to follow. You know, the certain evils you get rid of. Like, let's say our evil is rape. We want to get rid of rape. When you push good this far, where everybody agrees that rape is unacceptable at all times and all ways by all complicit parties, then eventually rape goes away. And then we got to deal with violence. And you convince everybody violence is a bad idea, that it's not a solution-making thing, and everybody agrees it pushes the light this way, then I think evil comes along too. And so I think it's kind of a spectrum. Good and evil will always exist. Light and dark will always exist. But we can control how dark the dark is. We can control how evil is. But it's about us evolving socially. It's about us deciding the things we want to go away. And then us calling fake news on people who say things like, oh, violence will never go away. Violence has gone away in every species that we solved artificial scarcity in. Whether it be the bonobos or the wolves that made dogs. Many creatures, once you solve the basic problems, they don't want to fight. You give people food, a house, water, clothing, and a good life. Marriage, kids, whatever they need, travel, exciting exploration. They don't want to fight. People only want to fight when they're starved. And that's why the Democrats and the Republicans starve us here, and the bourgeoisie starve the French. Because as long as you keep people divided and fighting, you got somebody willing to fight, then you can take the kitty. That's why I say it's all a game. It is all a game. If I can sit with you in the light, I'll lay down with you in the dark. Yin to our yang. Exactly. It's the yin and the yang. And they'll always exist. We just control how bad is. Like, we can make the dark ages go away. We just don't want to. We let the kings and lords legislate the dark ages. We let them legislate oppression. We let them, I mean, literally, like right now, genocide is okay. Genocide is normal. Genocide is supported. Murdering 14 million children by starving them. It's okay. From an America, Canada, Britain, France perspective, they wrote the legislation. It is okay to send money to Saudi Arabia that is literally murdering children through genocide and starvation in Yemen. And there's no price to pay. There's no price. There's no price. You think American Democrats and Republicans, you think they're gonna pay a price for that? They're going to get a great retirement for it. They're going to get a job for it. They're going to work for the military-industrial complex. There's no price to pay because we've normalized the dark. We've normalized all the evil that's done in the dark ages now is being done now. And it's all acceptable. All right, let me do this. We're just kind of talking through it. Or we can go to the news. Boop, boop, boop. Everybody's saying the same thing. Everybody agrees. Nobody disagreeing on here. People don't disagree no more. People disagree, they don't say nothing. I don't have anybody fighting for capitalism anymore. I don't know why. I don't fight for socialism, communism. Maybe we're all starting to come to this consensus and agreeing that we got bigger problems. That the solution we need in the world, it doesn't exist yet. It's not any of these old models. We can stop fighting about the old models and none of them worked. Ignore all the evil, that's the solution. No, Ellen, it's not ignore the evil. I think it's accepting that we support the evil. I don't think it's ignoring evil. I think it's accepting our complicitness in the role of evil, right? Because evil only exists because we hold up the system and the model that allows it to thrive. So it's like, I was on Ty's stream the other day. Ty was talking about cybernetics. We're talking about slavery for a little bit. It's like, so we can ask the question, is slavery evil? Was it evil? Well, I think most people agree it was evil back when it was cotton in America and rubber and Thailand or Vietnam and all the minerals at different times. But we don't really get to say slavery's evil if we support slavery today. If we got smartphones, we got laptops, we got cars, we trade them in as often as we can so we can have the new shiny one. No difference than people buying all the clothes they could because the slaves were growing cotton back then, right? We are complicit with all of the evil. And so for me, it's just, we support the evil. We prop the evil up. We allow it to exist while we focus on other things. We're mad. We're in gender fights. We're in racial fights. We're in political fights. We're fighting about everything else. We're dominating the media. We're fighting over Trump's penis and where it was, and Clinton's penis and where it was, and who he's with, and trying to impeach. But we don't do anything about slavery. So there's directly supporting it in buying the things, supporting the political systems that thrive on evil, dominating the news cycle because we're adults and we know better and we can't prioritize and focus on the dark and evil that occurs all over the world. So we're complicit in it in all ways. And so for me, what I'm saying, Alan, is I think about how I support evil, the evil groups I'm a part of. I'm not a Democrat and I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Green Party. I'm not any of that right now because the system we have, it thrives on evil. It doesn't thrive on good. It thrives on evil. And I see that now. I didn't see that in the past. I see it now. Unfortunately, it took me 40 years to figure out how complicit I am in helping evil to thrive. And I don't do that anymore. And every time I see something new that's evil that I'm supporting, I get out of that. I walk away. And so the funny thing, Alan, is it pushes me into a place of not being on any teams because all the teams are eventually taken over. All the movements are eventually co-opted. Everything that's good eventually becomes rotten because when you have to team up with somebody else, it means you're using force over them. And anytime you got to use force over somebody, it means you're wrong. And so it's that whole escalating this side, that side, this side, that side. And whoever runs the show takes home the kitty, and they always tend to be the most evil. Passage said, these times will come, right is wrong, wrong is right. And we are there, aren't we, Carrie? We are there. You know, but the thing to focus on is that it's not as bad as it can get, though. It can get worse. But right now, bad is good and good is bad. Slavery is fun and delicious, and rape is okay. Violence is a good way to make decision, not negotiation. Not everybody gets a voice. Free speech is bad. People defending themselves is a horrible thing. The whole flip has been scripted because I believe when you can make people emotional, you can take away their critical thought. When you take away their critical thought, you own them. They're reactionary at that point. At that point, you can invest in them because they're predictable. And meanwhile, AI is just rolling out. You're taking all that investment you're making from all the industries that are based in prediction and human activity, and you're buying robots with it. You're buying software and automation. You're slowly firing your employees. Every day you replace more and more, and it creates more conflict, so it benefits you more because people have less to feed their families. Human labor goes away. And we push for this because we want it. 2020 ungovernable campaign, Carrie, and that's what we need. That's why I love Sister Deb. She does these videos. Or what's the name of her website is Ungovernable. You got to become ungovernable. You need 2020. Stop being governed. I feel sorry for people who are posting the 2020 stuff already. For 2020, how about you just be an adult for 2020? How about sovereignty 2020? How about yellow vest 2020? How about grow up 2020? How about focus on what matters 2020? Like, we're lost. We are lost as a species. Evil is good. Good is evil. What's true is treason. Only time will tell if we stand the test of time. Only time will tell, Michael, and so far we haven't. So far we haven't. You talk to the Egyptians, we've been wiped out many times, many times. Silence is complicity. Absolutely, Ellen. Silence means you go along with it. Silence means you're happy with it. Silence and helping cover it up through these political parties, it means you're fine with rape. It means you're fine with war. It means you're fine with sex slavery. You're fine with pedophilia. Do you see the politicians going after the priests? No. Why? Because that's their religion. They're not going after the priests. The Catholic Church has a lot of power. Nope, they're not going after them. They get out there, again, they'll yell and scream, Black Lives Matter. They'll sell that book, won't they? They get out there, we need to restore the Constitution and restart a republic. And what are they doing about it? Nothing. Because it sounds good. It's a gesture. Gesture. It's a gesture. They got gestures. Nice gestures. We like politicians that don't do a damn thing, but they make nice gestures. That's why I believe in the yellow vest. I do. I believe in the yellow vest. I think they nailed it. People come up with a list of things. This is what the yellow vest stand for. You know, I think one brother said it right. Direct democracy. That's it. Direct democracy. But a belief in sovereignty, leaving people alone, and direct democracy. That way, people vote directly on the things that they want to vote on based on how they want to vote on. You can get rid of the Telecommunication Act. You can end the war on drugs. You can end the police state. You can start dismantling it. You can say no to 5G. You can say no to anything you want. You know, in a yellow vest, they should be pissed off right now because Macron, what was his answer? He decided that he was going to have a global or national conversation. We're going to have a conversation about this, people. We're going to have a conversation about us starving you. However, I'm not going to undo anything I've done in the last 18 months, but we're going to have a conversation about moving forward. Shoot, that should have doubled the numbers in the street. That should have doubled it. That man doesn't give two dams. And he understands that he doesn't work for them. He doesn't read. He's not there for the poor. He's not there for the average people. He's there for the billionaires. He's there for the same reason Washington is there. And the Democrats and the Republicans, they're there for the billionaires. The billionaires that eventually will get rid of you and them. The only difference is they're going to get rid of you first. Human labor is going away. Choosing the lesser of the evils is still choosing evil. Exactly, Michael. It still is. That's why, Michael, I know how to shoot. That's why I know how to shoot. That's why I'm hot on the AK. I know what I'm doing. I'm all about peace. I am. But when it goes down, yeah. When it goes down, you can't stand around. When somebody brings war to your door, you need to know how to act. And right now, everything moving forward, they're voting for a war. They're voting for revolution. They're voting for destroying possibly all life on this planet. Don't have to, but that's what we're doing. Flash bombs, kill them. Betty, I'm not sure what that is. Betty, you're scaring me. What do you mean? Flash bombs, kill them. What's going on? You talking about Brother John and revolution? Referendums initiated by citizens. Rick. Direct democracy. Exactly. And I'm with that, Lori. Love that. All the referendums, they have to be initiated by the people. I think there's a lot of ways to make it work, right? It's not just direct democracy. It's also the referendums that the people choose. So they can decide, they can figure out, why do gangs exist? Oh, they exist because of the war on drugs. Okay, we don't like gangs. We don't want gangs to exist. So we get rid of the war on drugs. And they can talk to the people who don't like guns. We don't like guns on the street. Well, you can't do anything about the people who in their Second Amendment. They got their guns, it's their right. However, we can get the illegal black market guns off the street. So who put the black market guns on the street? America did that. Oh, Washington? The Pentagon put them on the street? Oh, okay. And why are they on the street? Why do people buy them? The supply comes from the Pentagon and the demand comes from the war on drugs because people like to eat. So they sell drugs so they can eat and have a life and buy cars and houses and pay the bills. Oh, okay. So we vote out trafficking weapons. We have a referendum that no, America, why the Pentagon, you can no longer sell weapons. Imagine that. All American weapons being used for Americans. That almost sounds like nationalism. How crazy is that? But no, they send them all over the planet and they give them to the black market in America. You decide we're going to end the war on drugs. Why? Because we don't really care about pharmaceutical profits anymore. You can end that anytime you want. So I agree. But the only piece I'll add in there, though, is because people, they'll fight direct democracy and they'll say, well, that's mob rule. You know, the other critical piece is sovereignty. You know, we have to agree on that as a global community that you have a right to sovereignty. You have a right to be born as a human being and not be ruled. You have a right to be born in China and say, you know what, I'm not Chinese. You have a right to be born in Catalonia and say, I don't want to be a part of, what is that, Spain? You have a right to be born in Texas. Say, I don't want to be a part of that. I want to be free. And as long as you're not hurting anybody, as long as you're not killing anybody, as long as you're not violent, you can do anything you want to do. We got to agree with that. We got to have like a base bare bones constitution where it's like, leave everybody alone. Let everybody be sovereign. Let everybody have the sovereignty of a deer or a billy goat or a beetle, where it's just born and it can go about its business doing what it wants to do. And you put direct democracy together with a good, strong constitutional or Bill of Rights foundation of sovereignty and leaving everybody alone, the planet goes the way it's supposed to. And I think that's a good idea. The planet goes back the way it's supposed to. Robots don't run on love. No, they don't run on love. Sister Mary, I think they'll be sustainable. They probably run on nuclear energy by now. Like, we're still on oil, and they probably had 0 point. Robots, they probably got robots on 0 point. They never slow down, never get tired. They don't care nothing about your love. All they care about is following out that program. But it's interesting, to a degree, that's kind of how we are. We're being programmed by the news and the media. They judge our responses and they release the news based on that for conflict. We could change the way government officials are paid. Exactly, Laura. With Rick, now that I know what that means, you can say, no, you can't take campaign contributions. No, corporations aren't people. Corporations are bloody monopolies that are robbing and looting nations and the people. They're printing the money and they're making AI and they're destroying a planet. You could actually do that. But you got to be an adult first. You gotta accept the fact that you can make your own decisions. You can decide if you want peanut butter or jelly on your ham sandwich, or you want to put some potato chips on it. And adults in our country haven't figured that out yet. They don't feel that they should have that right. They feel that they need to be representative. So no, I'm not for anybody's 2020. I'm not for anybody's 2020. I can make my own decisions, and I'd rather your government collapse than anything else. But I'm not going to support another representative to represent me. Oh, it's Jay's birthday. Happy birthday, brother Jay. Jay's birthday. You up in the morning? You up kind of early in the morning, man. Let me see. We support the elite of this world, and we need to shut them down. The government shutdown is a joke. It is a joke. Who said that? Who said that? Dawn. It is a joke. It is a joke. You know my position on the shutdown, Dawn? Shut it all down. I want it all shut down. And I love people. I love people, and there's people who work for the federal government. They need to go work. They should work for the state. The state should give them jobs and shut the rest of the murdery bastards down. And let's try to figure out a government that actually works for the people. I think we could do that. Because the states are 50 countries anyway. Let the states get back together, figure out how they want, if they want a federal government. Maybe they can go be countries for a little bit. You know, maybe it's like marriage. You know, can we date a little while? Maybe we don't want a federal government for a little bit. Maybe we're kind of tired of this DHS, CIA, FBI thing. And you can roll them into the states. You can reverse the CIA, and you can make them go down to Honduras and undo what they did. So people start walking up here. You can make them undo what they did in Latin America. You can make them apologize. You can make them all whistleblowers. You can make them all tell us the truth. We don't have to fire anybody. We can just shut down the killy parts of the government and keep the decent parts running. But I'm all about facilitating it. I'm not interested in government anymore. I'm too old for government. You get to a space where you're too old. I know how to put my pants on. I know how to wash my clothes. I can pick what I want for lunch. I don't need a representative to pick those things for me, to do those things for me. I thought with this shutdown, people will come together, but I don't think it will happen from what I see. Well, they control it. The shutdown is largely controlled, right? Like it's not like it's crafted. Right? They'll do the shutdown in a way that makes the shutdown tribal. They'll do it in a way that'll force one side over here and force the other side over here. It's just like the news and anything else. It's just about control, right? As long as you control, like you know how people are going to react, you can make sure you can shut it down in a way where it's defunct. And when there's enough pain, people will beg the government to do anything it wants to do. And all sides, the corporations which run both sides, will eventually get what they want. So I think it's the same thing. Same thing. I do want to show you something. I don't know how much time I got. We're running out of time here. It was a good discussion. Look around, see Massa around. I got my bag of cotton now. Anytime y'all see me do that, it's like, all right, listen, I get my bag, pretend like I'm cooking. There was some interesting, oh my gosh, there were some crazy stuff in the news. I forgot, there's this, did y'all see the space ads? Did you, let me, all right, maybe I'll show you that real quick. They want to put ads into space, as if it's bad enough you can't see the stars now, they want to put ads in space. Did y'all see this? This is nuts. But we can't stop it. They can do anything they want. I think I saw this on a movie. Wasn't this on Time Machine? I don't know what that is. Nasty commercial. Look at this.
And from time to time, you've probably seen those over-the-top billboards while driving your car, right? Well, imagine seeing those types of billboards shining brightly in outer space. A startup company wants to make that a reality. RT correspondent Ashley Banks is joining us live from the newsroom with more to this very strange and interesting story. Ashley?
That's right, Manila. Billboards in space. Russia's startup company StartRocket is looking to bring billboard advertisements to low Earth orbit. These satellites would orbit about 280 miles above ground, being able to be seen by the naked eye. StartRocket wants to use this technology to display a knockoff of the Coca-Cola logo and other brand emblems. The company also thinks it would be a good idea to use the technology to allow governments around the globe to flash urgent notifications during emergencies. Sounds pretty cool, yet not everyone is sold on this idea. Some scientists and space advocates say they fear adding more light pollution to the sky would cause significant problems, including health-related issues for people around the globe. Now, astronomer John Barentine says, quote, every one of those moving blips of light in the night sky is something that can interfere with our ability to collect photon. StarRocket CEO says his display's orbit is so short, it wouldn't impact space research. Despite the pushback, others say this project, whether it's done by the Russian company or not, is inevitable. Adding satellites are already reflective, bouncing light back to Earth that are visible for at least a few seconds. If the display is launched, it will be almost as bright as the moon. StarRocket CEO contacted a private university in Moscow to figure out how a team of engineers could
almost as bright as the moon. And guess what? And you can't stop it. Nothing you can say to do, nothing you can do to say to stop it, nothing. Corporations run everything. They decide everything you want. Look up in the sky and you see a hello. Like 5G, you can't stop it. We don't want to run our world. We have representatives. The representatives, they will make that decision for us. They decide they want us to look up the sky. You don't even get to see the stars and skies. You get to see a hologram, a hello message, a happy smiley face. Everybody smile. The world is good. Everything is okay. And it's insane. Everything that affects everybody is decided by representatives. Do you know how nutty that is? That's why I don't believe anymore. I don't believe anymore. I can't remember when I last saw the stars. I see them every now and then, Crystal, during the daytime, but there's so much pollution, there's so much light pollution and like real pollution and whatever they're spraying from geoengineering, you can't see it. But they're just rolling out technology. Nobody questions it. Nobody can stop it, even if you question it, because our representatives run everything and they work for big corporations. What are y'all talking about, Rick? Let me see. Yeah, something's fishy, Daniel. And there's something, there's probably more to it. It's probably not just lights, it's something else. Because they'll give us this stuff, but there's something else behind it. They're always up to something. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. We support it, and so they do it. What else was interesting? They're talking about the trade wars, U.S. deficit, China. I love trade wars. I don't care. Billionaires don't need to make money. Poor people need money, not billionaires. So I don't care nothing about the trade wars. That's my position. Oh, somebody's teaching a Russia Gator course. Where is that? Yale or somewhere? Where is this? Where this young lady's teaching a Russiagate course? At Georgetown University. If you need a Russiagate course, you can go to Georgetown University. They'll explain to you what Russiagate's all about. Journalists unite behind, oh yeah, that's right. The journalists are uniting to fight back against censorship. That's when they shut off anti-media and what was it? The police, all those journals that they shut down. And so they're still trying to fight back against when they shut down that 1,000 pages that disappeared off of online. Brexit was funny. I still like Brexit. I still like UK politics better because UK politics are funnier. They cuss each other out more. I think that's important. I think it's a good thing. I think politicians should all be able to cuss. It was Elizabeth Warren or somebody's drinking beer, cussing or something like. I think they should all be them. I think y'all should stop polishing your politicians. Let them speak what they need to, because we don't know who they are. Oh crap, we got stars and snow, lots of snow. Yeah, well, you're in Vermont, gal, you're gonna get buried up there. Let me see. Anything new about aliens? No, Anna, they don't like aliens. They don't like aliens as a topic. Aliens as a topic are a bad thing, because aliens, it's not a divisive subject. Aliens, you know, if people actually believe that there was something else out there, that they weren't the only game in town, then they would stop fighting. And you can't have human beings fighting each other. You need AI robots to kill everybody. You need to dominate the markets. You need to keep them predictable. Saying aliens are real, it'll ruin everything. It'll ruin the profit schemes. It'll ruin their ability to make big money. So no, there's nothing about aliens. I don't expect that there will be. I don't expect any disclosure. To me, it's a thing about intellect. It's whether or not you think you're the only game in town. Look around, there's life all over on this planet, but you think there's life nowhere else. That's your intellect. That's up to you. But I think that's most important. That's probably one of the reasons human beings need to work together, because we know nothing about our world. We know nothing about our universe. We know nothing about our oceans. We know nothing about nothing, but we seem to know everything about everything. Yo, what's going on, Carter? Brother Chris is in the house. What Carter say? Carter's listening, said aliens are real. Carter knows what's going on. Carter knows what's up. Carter knows aliens are real. Kids, you can fool adults. You can't fool kids. Kids are like, come on, man, stop it. Dad, stop. Dad, turn on TV. Channel 4. Aliens are real. Kids know that. But kids are closer to the truth than what we are. Like I said, I think we're born and then they break us. We're born and then they give us their reality. That's why I say leave kids alone. Let them go. Let them go figure their world out. Don't give them your problems. They're smarter than you. You can't keep up. Can't keep up at all. Out of the mouth of babes. You know, they're closer to whatever that wave energy thing is we started. Carter just got here like, yeah, damn it, Dad. Aliens are real. Moonbach, me bach. I was with them right before I came here, before you and Mom got together, did what you did, and I popped out. Listen, I still remember them. They're cool people. And after a while, he'll start to forget, and he'll turn about 10. I think aliens are kind of real. He'll turn about 15. Yeah, I don't think aliens are real, Dad. You know, but I think it's an intellect thing. That's what I think. I think it's a self-righteous and intellect thing. Whether or not you actually think that we just magically came out of some goo and electricity and some waves and some microbiology. No, that doesn't work right in my mind. We don't know nothing at all. We don't know anything, Chris, but it takes a big man to admit that. It takes a smart woman to admit that, you know, to admit that we really aren't as smart as we think we are. And every 10 years we get dumber. We realize how little we knew the 10 years before. People have been working on Rick and Cirque in Australia for a decade or so. Well, Rick is important, Lori. Looks like y'all are discussing Rick. I'm all for Rick. Didn't know what Rick was? Brother Jonathan's here too, talking about Rick. I'm all for direct democracy. I'm all for you making your own decisions. I think that's important. When people make their own decisions, then I don't have to make it for them. And I don't want to decide anything for anybody else. But billionaires don't like that. Crony capitalism doesn't like that. Socialism and communism, the crony socialism and communism, they don't like that. I like that. I think you can decide for yourself. All right. This was a good discussion. I got to wrap it up here. Oh, good morning, Helen. You just came through the door. Everybody say hi to Helen. Everybody say bye to Helen. I got to go. I got to get started with my day. That was a good discussion. Appreciate hanging out with you guys. Any last comments? Hey, hun, DC will get gnarly real soon. People turn on each other, and when they need food, yes, they will, Linda. DC, Chicago, New York City, all these places. In the city is a bad place to be when your government's starving you. I'm just putting that out there. In the city, when they're rolling out 5G, and you got Democrats and Republicans starving the population, not a good place to be. We've seen this before. We've seen it before. You need to buy yourself some land, learn how to grow some plants, plant yourself some nut trees, plant yourself some apple trees, plant yourself some raspberries and strawberries, plant yourself some wilderberry, some things that grow wild, naturally. Perennials in your environment, wherever you get some land, and buckle down. Because what always happen in all civilizations is always going to happen. And it's going to happen again. But right now, people aren't figuring it out. So it's going to be rough. Save some food. If you live in the city, you need to have yourself a cupboard. Like your grandparents, they had pantries for a reason. You need to get you some canned foods. I don't have a whole lot of money. Okay, so every time you go to the grocery store, buy an extra bag of rice. Every time you go to the grocery store, buy an extra tin can or something. Bad times are coming. Bad times always come. Depressions always come. It's just what markets do. The same way people are predictable, they like predictable markets. They make a lot of money day trading civilizations. They make money day trading people. And when it falls, that's when they make a lot of money. The Great Depression didn't happen. The Great Depression was a business plan. And they unfolded it exactly how they needed to. A lot of people starved. Didn't have to, but they did. And back then, most of us were farmers. Imagine what's going to happen now. That's why I say it's the zombie apocalypse is coming. The zombie apocalypse is coming. But they're not coming for your brains. They're going to be coming for your food. They're going to be coming for the things that human beings will murder everybody on the block that they need to survive. That's why it's important. That's why we need to focus on the big issues. We need to stop talking about small stuff, and we really need to start talking about the big stuff. And the big stuff, uh-oh, I'm interrupted. Well, that's what happens on Facebook. The big stuff is never really what's in the news. The news is always a guided distraction. AI is coming, the robot economy is here, and we're gonna pay the maximum price. It looks like it's a full interruption. All right, well, I'm out of here. Listen, YouTube, you guys can see me. That's the wrap up. Think, don't act. Have empathy, not a whole lot of anger. We'll get out of it. We'll make it. Somebody always makes it. But the more we take care of each other, the more we will make it. Like an idiocracy. Yeah, idiocracy, that's the future. Facebook stopped, YouTube is still going. Thank you, Brother Gown, for that information. It looks like YouTube is still going. But that's the real story. Why? Because that's history. It's not conspiracy theory, it's just history. It's how markets work, it's how civilizations work, it's how economy works. Monetary systems, they always do that. And when they do that, and you can see your currency starting to collapse, your economy starting to have trouble, you need to brace for it and you need to prepare. And now is that time. People aren't figuring it out. They're trying to figure out who they want to put in 2020 to keep the oligarchy going. You need to figure out what you're going to eat when that oligarchy wants to cash that check. Anyway, it's Gerard. I got to go. Oh, wow. They fully shut it down. I just seen the Facebook video stop altogether. Y'all have a great day. This is Gerard. I love y'all to death.